We are pleased to welcome the assistants. We are here, the campaign team of Miss Marie Rangiantanani Valencia. We called the media today for a briefing to draw public attention to the parliamentary elections in the district of Mahajanga II a week ago on December 20th. Allow me to introduce myself, Eliana Rangiantanani Bezaza, campaign manager of Miss Valencia. We are carrying a message of Miss Valencia to the population of Mahajanga II, of course, but also for all our countrymen and to the international community. We welcome all our countrymen throughout the island, all the listeners, viewers, web users, and wish everyone a Merry Christmas. First, Miss Valencia thanks all those who have expressed through the ballot box. Thank God these elections were held smoothly and demonstrated how wise our people are. As for the result of these elections, we've all seen and heard in the media preliminary and provisional results. Those provisional results are far from being accurate because according to our own information, those PV, procès verbal, report of election process for each poll. So according to the PV we have collected when they exist, otherwise through local committees, we came out as the real winners of the election in Mahajanga II. And yet, to our bewilderment, the opposite was announced. Actually, a change has been made using fraud and electoral hold-up that changed everything. The duty of the District Electoral Commission under Code Section Registration voting materials in the district is limited to the centralization of the results of the district. They are not at all in charge of queries and claims. They emit any comments they deem appropriate and transmit at headquarters to Zenit Alarubia in the capital, that's all. That is why these results are called provisional. Therefore, changes can still take place, following the judgment of the Special Electoral Court. This means that we continue fighting as we cannot accept to be defeated. Population of Mahajanga II, do not accept to be manipulated or even discouraged by preliminary results. Massive and widespread fraud were carried obviously by experts. We have even discovered methods which we didn't even know they could exist. Everything happens as if the perpetrators believe not having to deal with humans who have the ability to react, but to blind puppets, deaf, and without any reaction whatever happens. We warn immediately, no, we refuse to be trodden on our toes. A candidate has already celebrated his victory prematurely and openly, in view and above all, before any definite result. In addition, he boasted, "Whatever happens, whether you like it or not, I am the only winner and nobody else." If he can speak so, it is that he knows exactly what he has done or sponsored. The proverb says, if small crocodile allows sunbathing, it is that it knows that mom is somewhere behind. It knows it is safe and sound and not harmed in any way. We took our time to analyze the situation, so we prefer to say nothing at Miss Valencia's headquarters. We have found out that we are dealing with experts in fraud. We are ready to go to court as the only issue, and we believe the outcome will be in our favor as we work out to bring out the truth. During the time of silence, the whole team has gathered evidences and all the necessary testimonies across the district of Mahajanga II to face the court. Indeed, we cannot afford to tell tales like the fraudsters. Today we can tell the voters of Miss Valencia not to lose hope, as the conditions are met to file a serious complaint to the courts. We have a well-crafted file, strong, convincing, concrete evidence, and we will strictly follow the procedures required by law. Let's wait the outcome with faith, because the truth is on our side. We also can use the crocodile proverb. If small crocodile feels safe, it is because mom crocodile has done what needed to be done, and we trust in our justice. We can prove each fraud point by point, denounce instigators and accomplices, so that this shameful practice ceases definitely once and for all. We express our thanks to the large population of Mahajanga II who expressed his sadness over the phone. We know how difficult it is to have the telephone network throughout the district, and yet the calls were very many of voters expressing their disagreement and disappointment on the outcome heard in the media. Voters know well who they voted for. The Fukuntani are not big cities. People are not so many, and most of them know each other, so they cannot help saying often, "How come that the one for whom we did not vote for can be the elected one?" The people from the far northwest of the bordering district of Analalava, had to come by sea because there is no road, just to say they cannot accept such lies on behalf of their township, and asked what they can do to help. Other people in the deep country had to walk a very long way to express their disappointment too. Why all this? Nobody wants to let it go, to be crushed, manipulated, and all join hands so that the truth comes to light. This is the first time that such event happens in the district of Mahajanga II. We had already decided to react against these frauds, but with the whole population with us, we are even more strengthened to refuse the manipulation of people's choice definitely. This is the only right that remains to every citizen to express his sovereignty in a democratic country. But unfortunately, this right is manipulated and stolen by daringly unconscious people. Miss Valencia, elected or not, has the duty and the responsibility to protect the people's choice and recover what was stolen. We must stop now anti-development and anti-democracy practices worthy of former days of slavery. Threats and violence are the weapons of the fittest and the richest. It is high time we realized we are citizens with rights and duties and aspirations for a true economic and human development that fit our culture and our own idea of freedom. We appeal to Beatrice Atala, President of CENIT. We congratulate her for having done an amazing job, and we encourage her to continue because there is still much to do. So far, we can already say that we, Malagasy women, are proud to have her. We have seen and heard in the media her intention to be uncompromising on fraud already discovered in other districts. We hope this same intransigence is to be applied in our district, Mahajanga II. A word about the disregard of women in politics. Unfortunately, it still exists. If the aim of Mira Lenta is to grant women 30% of position in the management of the country, now the only female candidate in our district poised to win the election is brutally and unjustly mistreated. A word also for election observers, national and international. It is true that there were some observers in the district of Mahajanga II, but only around the paved roads accessible by car. However, the vast majority of polling stations is not easy to be reached, so fraudsters, knowing that observers will never come, are free to do their misdeeds quietly as always. Next is a call to the international community. Would you please have the real way out of the crisis as a priority, but not speeding up for quick results that do not always correspond to the reality? We, peasants, we are hurt and we represent the majority of Malagasy people. If you are satisfied for the accomplishment in due time of your task, please take the time to truly find solution to this crisis that has lasted long enough and for which you have already invested a lot of time and money. International ladies and gentlemen who are funding our elections, if necessary, please do find the necessary funds in case of necessary recount of the votes to come to an end to this damned, awful political crisis once for all. Not only are there many anomalies ahead, but we have already heard in the media that the Electoral Special Court is already overwhelmed with queries and we are only at the beginning of the process. The first applications filed are probably from areas easy access. However, frauds mostly occur in the landlocked areas like ours, the most numerous. Would you please take into account the interests of farmers, peasants, even if it's not so obvious to you, because in general we do not manifest nor protest. Indeed, we are not in Antananarivo City, nor Thomasna City, nor Antiranana City, but in the deep bush and maybe invisible, unknown to many. However, we are the most numerous and we feel abandoned, lost, and without any consideration. Finally, Miss Valencia expressed her thanks to all the voters for their dignified behavior on election day. This shows our patriotism and our willingness to move forward. However, we have just entered into zone of turbulence. We recommend everyone to attend to daily business in peace. Rather than arguing between us, let's pray for the truth to come out. In politics, wise men have to fight with their ideas and opinions, but not fight each other. There is no need for violence in the clash of ideas. Peace should prevail in our society. The team headquarters of Miss Valencia wishes a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year 2014 to all of you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your attention.